Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Tuesday Tea Tips. I have had a whirlwind of 3 weeks, or a little over 3 weeks, that we've been away from our Tuesday noon time, 12:30-ish time. So come on in. I welcome you back. Um, yeah, let me just move this around. I can't see you on Facebook today, so hopefully the comments will come through. So if you're on, say hello. If you're on, say hey, so I know who's on with me today. All right. So we took a little break from tea tips because one, I went on vacation. I was gone for about 10 days, had an amazing time, did a cruise, met friends in Florida, and then coming right back in the next day, we had the start of Kingdom Growth Conference, the Milwaukee Kingdom Growth Conference. It's a 3-day conference. In the morning time, it's clergy, pastors, ministers that come and are fed, taught, encouraged. And then in the evening, it's church members, laity. They come in for classes, and then we end the night with a worship service, and that goes on for 3 consecutive nights: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we came right off the plane the next day to jumping into the Kingdom Growth Conference, and then this Saturday we had the high tea. So we went from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and now we are back here for tea tips. And during the high tea, I talked about issues. And we looked at the woman with the issue of blood and how she overcame issues. But today, I really wanted to give some tips about issues in our lives. There could be so many types of issues. I'm like, for real, so many types of issues that we have in our lives, from the smallest issue to the largest issues. It could be someone dealing with homelessness, living out of their car, or living in tents. We see that all of the time. Actually, I was in California visiting my daughter. This was years ago. And an individual, she got out of her car. She was dressed in a suit and heels. Like, she wasn't someone that you looked at and knew they were homeless. I only knew she was homeless because she parked her car, she got out of her car, and then there was a tent on the side of in front of the apartment building, not on the sidewalk, but that little patch of grass between the curb and the sidewalk. She had a tent there. She got out of her car and she got right into her tent. And so you never know who's in at work with you, school with you, in the grocery store, standing next to you, getting gas. We don't know who is homeless. It could be somebody who has an issue and they're dealing with having their utilities cut off. You know, Back in the day, it was either your gas was cut off or your electric was cut off because it was two separate things. But now it's one thing. So if it's cut off, everything is cut off. It could be someone dealing with divorce. It could be someone dealing with church hurt, you know, sickness. Maybe a parent is sick, a child is sick. Maybe your spouse is sick, or maybe you're dealing with some type of sickness. Someone could just have given birth and they have a newborn, and the baby is colicky, or it could be somebody who's given birth and they gave birth to a preemie, or even still someone who had a stillbirth. These are all issues. These are all challenges. These are all things that people go through, and that could literally stop your life, like cause you to get off of the road and go off to the side and just stay in neutral. However, there's healing, and there's ways for us to overcome all of these issues, all of these challenges in life. And so, if you're joining me this afternoon, welcome back to Tea Tips. I'm so glad to be back. Um, we started with Shine, and Shine is staying connected to God. And then it was healing. And today we're going to touch issues on um, issues. All right. And so, ways that we can keep our life moving forward, even though we have a small issue, a medium issue, or a super large issue. One is to talk to someone, and whether it's someone on your job, maybe a boss, because if you're going through an issue and you have a job, and it might cause you to be late, it may cause you to uh, space out from time to time, so you're not getting projects done by the deadline. It could be all sorts of things that's happening because of an issue in your life. And so, one thing, if you're on a job, is to talk to your boss, talk to the supervisor, talk to the manager. Doesn't mean you have to give all of the specifics to the situation, but you want to make them aware of something that's happening in your life that's causing you to have these challenges. It's causing you to be late. It's causing you to um, have spaces in time where you're thinking about that issue or that concern or that challenge in your life. So you want to talk to a trusted individual, especially someone on your job, maybe especially the supervisor, um, your employee, your employer, your boss. But when you're doing that, this is actually the number two. And so you don't want to overshare. So the first one is to talk to someone, whether it's a pastor, it's a counselor, it's a friend, it's somebody that you can share and just get what's on your mind off of your mind, so that you can, have this dialogue back and forth with someone. But while you're doing that, especially on the in the work site, you don't want to overshare. You want to give too much information, because just like the woman with the issue of blood, and we talked about that on Saturday at the high tea, people will see that issue and define you by that issue. Okay. So if you're at work and you're just telling everybody about your issue, everybody at work know that you have a sick parent, or everybody at work knows that you're going through a divorce, or everybody at work knows that your utilities are off, or anything like that. It could be one that you're the center of gossip of the office or the workplace. It could begin to make people think that you're not able to do your job because you have this situation, this circumstance, this condition going on. Um, it could also mean that somebody is looking to you to fail so that they could get your position or your job. All of those things can happen. And so when we're sharing with people, we just don't want to overshare. You don't want to give all the information. You don't want to give everything out so that everybody knows what's going on in your life. And number three, we want to set boundaries. All right. So we're talking about ways that we can move our life forward, that we can continue to progress in life, even though we have some issues going on. It's not a sign that you got to stop life. It's not a sign that you can't keep going. It's not a sign that you're incapable of doing what you're doing. An issue is just that it's something that has come up, whether it's internally or it's externally. It's a situation, a circumstance, a condition that has come up in our lives that's a definite challenge. However, we can't allow challenges to cause us to pull off to the side and stop living life. There, like I said, there's places of healing. We're going to talk to someone. We're not going to overshare. And then we're going to set boundaries. All right. Setting boundaries protects us and it protects other people. All right. Setting boundaries is as simple as opening up your mouth and verbalizing what doesn't feel good to you, what you don't like, what you will not tolerate. And we don't have to do it in a mean way. We can be compassionate and caring when we share our boundaries. However, they are needed. Boundaries are definitely needed. If we have a situation in our life and we just need some time away. We have to let people know, I need time away. I need some days to myself. Just give me till Wednesday, and then I can talk to you. Just let me have this night. Just let me go in here and take this shower real quick. Setting boundaries can be very simple. and they can be complex at times, especially when we need to verbalize them over and over and over and over again. It could feel redundant. It could feel like they're not listening. However, if we stop saying them and we stop acting on them, then that's a definite sign that they won't continue to adhere to your boundaries. All right. So making sure that you're setting boundaries, making sure that you're communicating those boundaries, and then making sure that you're acting out your boundaries. If you let your boundaries go to the wayside, you better believe other people will let your boundaries go to the wayside. They'll act like you never even said it, and they'll continue to do what they want to do. They'll continue to treat you the way they want to treat you. It's up to us to protect ourselves. To protect ourselves with our boundaries. That was my teacup. I meant to show you guys. I got this as a gift and I thought this was so cute. It says my cup of tea and it has the lid, but then it also has the little strainer inside that you can strain your tea leaves. And then you put that off to the side and then you can drink your tea. And so I thought that was really cute away. And that was a very cute gift because I absolutely love tea. So we looked at 3 areas already. One, we're going to talk to someone, especially if it's on our job and our issue is causing us to fall behind on our job. We don't want to look as if we're just not trying or we're just here just to get a paycheck. No, it's this issue that I have that's causing me to have some challenges. So I'm going to go to my supervisor. I'm going to go to my boss. I'm going to go to the manager, someone. And I'm not going to tell them every single detail, but I'm going to tell them enough so that they understand where I am and what's happening with me. And that is not just that I'm slacking off. No, this is this issue that I'm having. But we also know that issues are temporary. Okay. Issues are temporary. And we look at our job as more permanent. So we don't want to let something that's going to be temporary cause us to lose something that should be permanent. All right. Even though I already talked about some really major issues, we do understand that in life, we can heal from very traumatic things. It may take some time, but we can still heal from those. So I'm not making light of issues and how they can truly affect our lives. No. However, I am saying that healing is here for us and healing can take place. And we don't necessarily forget what we've gone through and forget the issues that we've experienced. However, we are able to continue to live life even though we've experienced that issue. All right, so let's look at the next one. And oh, let me give you a couple more boundaries that I see right here. Uh-oh, it won't let me go. Okay, let me see a few more boundaries. So, some boundaries that we could have is keeping our work life and personal life separate. All right, keeping our work life and our personal life separate. Think of social media. I don't know how many of you are social media friends with coworkers. I don't know how many of you have set that as a boundary. If you did, that's awesome. Sometimes people allow their coworkers to be their Facebook friends or follow them on Instagram or any of those type of things. However, keeping those two things separate is important and it's a good idea because it helps you when you're setting your boundaries. Um, Turning off alerts while you're at work. So when you're at work, turning off those social media alerts so that you can focus in on your job, or while you're at home, once you get off work, um, turning off the email alerts for work, making sure that you are have some downtime so that you're not always looking at work emails at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And when you get home, If you have a family, making sure that you're not getting those Facebook alerts or TikTok or any of those things, because getting home, getting your family together, having dinner together, having that uninterrupted time with your children or your spouse is very important too, to help us overcome issues, helps us to focus in on what we're doing right here, have that personal time with our families, have laughter, have conversation, all of that with our family without being interrupted with social media. All right. Then I want to talk about being able to compartmentalize things. Okay. So something is going on with my phone, but we're going to talk about compartmentalizing things. And how do we do that? So to compartmentalize means to take something and put it in a box over here and not think about it. All right. So if you have this issue, being able to take it for a specific amount of time and not think about it. Put it, I know, I know. That could be very challenging. That could be very difficult because our mind wants to play negative things over and over and over again. So it takes us focusing in and reminding ourselves, no, I'm not going to think about that right now because I'm having dinner with my spouse, or I'm out with friends, or I'm at work, or I'm at church, or wherever I am. I'm not going to focus in on the negativity of that issue. I'm going to put that over here for now, and I'm going to focus in on what's happening before me, because what's happening in front of me could very well be the thing I need to help me work out this issue. But if I have this issue right at the forefront and that's all I see, that's all I hear, that's all I'm thinking about, then the answers that I need, I can't get. The healing that I need, I can't get. Everything I need, I won't be able to tap into because this issue is right in front of me, blocking me. All right. And we saw that with the woman with the issue of blood. She tried so many things, but her issue kept her locked away in the house. Her issue kept her away from people. But it wasn't until she compartmentalized that issue and went and touched the hem of Jesus' garment that made her whole. And it was her faith to move past her issue, to move past what people said, to move past what people thought and how they had defined her. It was her ability to do that which caused her to get her healing. All right. So that issue, we have to compartmentalize it. We have to take it off the forefront. We have to take it out of the main thing, put it over here, and focus in where we're at so that we can get through the day, so that we can get to what we're trying to go to, so we will be focused in the moment and not on the issue. All right. So of course, my little notes here, but let me see if I can go out but still be on and pull up this. All right. I'm gonna do it this way. Hopefully you all can still see me. All right, so that's compartmentalizing things. That's uh, taking it off the forefront, putting it in a box, and doing what we need to do. We can always go back, pick it up, and look at it anytime we want to. But when we need to get something done, we need to just compartmentalize that thing and put it off so that it doesn't stop us from moving forward. When I think about the woman that I saw who was homeless, there's no way that she could get through her day without compartmentalizing that she's indeed homeless. That after she gets off work, she's going to go home and go right into this tent, and that is her home. That she had to compartmentalize that in order to get to work, do the work that she needed to do, and then get back to the tent And then there it is. She doesn't have to unpack it because it's right there in front of her when she got back home. But it's being able to know that you have this issue. Okay, I do have this issue, but there's other things that I need to do in my life. There's other things I need to do in the world. There's other things that need to get done. So I have to put that over here, get these things done. All right. Another thing is seek professional help. Now, some jobs offer mental health services for their employees. Some may not, or some may pay a percentage of it. You should really look into that if you're having some issues that are causing you to be stuck in life. And there's another thing that there's a stigma, and I talked about this Saturday as well. There's a stigma in the church, especially the African American church, where counseling and therapy and all of those things uh, are seemed as bad, or if I need that, then I'm crazy, or there's these negative words that are used when it comes to seeking professional help for um, our mental issues. But it's nothing more than talking out with other people what you're going through, and them giving you some strategies, some tools to help you work through those things, so that when the situation comes up again, I know what to do. I can use this strategy. I can use that strategy to help me move myself forward. Uh, Take time for yourself. Maybe you got to take a half day from work or a whole day from work so that you can just rest, or you can think through, or you can journal, or getting up an hour earlier before you go to work and taking time to journal and write your thoughts down, write how you're feeling down, write what a plan that you have so that you can move forward through this issue. Go get a massage just to relax yourself. um, Go to the movies or watch a movie at home and pop some popcorn and have snacks by yourself. Take a bubble bath. Those are ways to just take time for yourself. Now, they don't fix the problem, of course, but they will get you to a place where you can relax. They will get you to a place where you can think about, while you're sitting in a bubble bath, you can be thinking of a plan of how you can get the finances to get your utilities back on, instead of just being sad or depressed about it, just thinking of a plan of how I can make this happen. Maybe I got to go do Uber for a month so that I can pay it off, or maybe I have to do this so that I can pay it off. But making a plan of action so that you're moving your life forward while you're dealing with this particular issue. And then finally, get emotional needs met. Maybe you're feeling lonely and you just call up your friend and say, "You know what? I just need to hang out with somebody today. Do you have time? Do you have time to go get a cup of tea? Do you have time to go and have lunch or to have dinner? Do you have time to hang out with me?" And knowing which family or which friends are a good fit for you when you're in those places. Knowing who would be able to have the time to hang out with you, because loneliness is difficult, but finding the time and having the boldness and the courage to let people know, "You know what, I'm feeling a little lonely right now. Can you go and hang out with me?" And finding that person and then making that happen. Also, there's some other self-soothing techniques that you could use. I see people use stress balls. They're sitting at their desk or they're sitting at home and they're using that ball to, relieve stress. Um, I see kids, I forgot the name of it. I think they're poppets or something like that, but I've seen kids use those and I've seen adults use those. It's just like getting the plastic popper things out of boxes and popping those, but it's a little rubber thing that you just sit and pop it and let it, and push those things in and out. That's a stress reliever. Drinking tea is a stress reliever. Okay. There are so many different types of tea that you can drink, and some actually say to relieve stress. Some help you go to sleep. Some, like the chamomile tea, or um, I forgot the other name, but there are some that are specifically designed for stress relief. Get you some of that. Sit there and drink that and just relax. And finally, prayer and meditation. Prayer, having music on, soothing music on, or even some uplifting music on. You don't want to have, if you're already feeling sad, you don't want to put sad music on. So, depending on the mood that you're already in, you want to grab some music that's going to help you, encourage you, but lift your spirit as well. And then meditating on the word of God, getting scripture around the situation that you're dealing with, around the issue that's plaguing you. And what does the word say about that issue? What does the word tell me to do? How does the word tell me to act regarding that issue? And using these techniques and using these tips can really help you, And then if you say, you know what, I've used that, I've tried that, then at number 5, getting some professional help, getting someone who you can sit down, who's trained to walk you through your issue so that you can have some tips, some tools to actually use, some tools that will help you. That's going to be key for you. But don't let your issues define you. Don't let your issues stop your progress. Don't allow your issues to cause you to pull off to the side of the road and sit. That's not the plan of God for your life. God's plan is for us to prosper and to be in health, even as our souls prosper. Is His will and His desire that we will live the Zoe life, the nothing missing, nothing lacking, and nothing broken life. And we are able to get that when we press our way through even the most challenging issues. Even the most challenging issues, you can go and type in YouTube and listen to testimonies of people who have overcome all kind of issues, okay? And see what they did, see how they moved through those issues. And it's available to us. God's will for us is to prosper. God's will for us is to live the life that Jesus died on the cross for us to live, okay? And so that's our T tips for today. If you have any questions, as always, you can put them in the comments. Let me close out of this. As always, you can put them in the comments, and I'll come back and look at those and answer any questions that you have. But over these next few weeks, we'll be finishing up Shine. As I said before and earlier in the broadcast today, we talked about staying in God's presence. We talked about healing, and today we talked about conquering our issues. All right. Hey, Dormika, how are you today? And so I'm excited to be back for Tea Tips. We had an amazing high tea this past weekend. We had some testimonies from some of the co-authors of Your Voice is Power. And so stay connected, stay in and watch as we go forward and do uh, more things for women, more events that bring women together so that your voice is powerful. Yes, your voice is powerful. Open up your mouth, be transformed, let God's light shine through you. And you can do that as you connect to Him and know who He's called you to be. All right. I'm good, Dormika. All right. You guys be blessed. And I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, for our in for Tea Tips. All right. Be blessed.